It's very likely we're at the end of a 4-decade bull run in both of those assets. And so if you look for alternatives and you want some value, silver absolutely is the place to be.
Peter Krauth talks about the investment landscape and how silver is an undervalued asset. He also mentions that it's difficult to find a better value for money than silver, and it has the potential for a long bull market despite its volatility.
We are very likely going to experience the greatest silver bull market of our generation. I do think that silver is an amazing opportunity. If you look around at the investment landscape and you consider all your investment options, different assets and different sectors, I think you'd have a very difficult time finding any asset that is more undervalued, a better buy right now than silver is. It does go through long bull markets. It is a volatile type of asset, but at this point, it's very undervalued. It's very difficult to find a better value for your money right now. And silver is definitely the place. I'm not the only one who's often heard about things like helicopter money and overprinting and modern monetary theory, all these concepts in finance. The reaction to the COVID pandemic, the lockdowns, and then the stimulus and the support that came for people, that came for businesses and so on.
Peter Krauth believes that silver has entered a new phase and has much higher to rise. He also discusses the industrial application of silver and how it will keep the price floor relatively high.
It really felt like this whole theory of helicopter money had jumped from the textbooks to practice. And it's almost like I felt like this was meant to come at some point, but when it actually happens, you have a hard time believing it. And when I saw that happen, I thought, wow, this is crazy. It's actually happening. And if we look at specifically what happened with silver around that time, both gold and silver in March of 2020 took a hit, bottomed within a matter of weeks, a couple of weeks, and then soared. Gold was up 38% from its bottom, and silver was up 152% from its bottom. It outperformed gold in that environment by 4 times. And I thought, this is the launch of the acceleration phase for silver. It's really moving into a new phase. For it to have bottomed at $12, certainly that was a low number, but that was 3 times the low of 2001, I believe. And so I felt that if it's bottoming at that much higher than the start of the secular bull, then this is going to be a mid-cycle bottom and that we have much, much higher to rise. And if you think of today's prices versus that $12 low, we're still at almost 100% higher. My view is that the industrial application for silver, which is half of its uses, end up providing for a solid floor, a rising price floor under the silver price. And that will keep a relatively high floor that will continue to rise. And then I guess the marginal increase and the wild card in the silver price is the demand from investment. And so that certainly distinguishes silver from gold. Something else to keep in mind is gold is certainly, I don't think there's anyone would doubt, it's the king of precious metals. If you look at from a supply side, the annual supply of gold is worth about $270 billion. And if you look at the annual value of silver supply, it's about a tenth of that, around $27 billion. It's about a tenth the size of the gold market. And so needless to say, to push around the silver price is a lot easier through buying and selling. So it naturally is a more volatile asset, a more volatile investment sector. And I'm not the only one to feel this way, that the volatility shouldn't be something that scares you away. It should be something that in some ways attracts you.
Peter Krauth discusses the volatility of silver and how it's a more volatile investment sector compared to gold. He mentions that volatility shouldn't scare investors away, but should be seen as an opportunity. He also talks about how retail investors have an advantage in playing with the volatility of silver and how it can work for them.
Especially as retail investors, we have an advantage. We don't have the same restrictions that larger fund money managers have in terms of amounts of capital they have to put to work and have to keep liquidity concerns at top of mind. We can be more patient. We can be more nimble. We can react quicker. And so it's easy for us to look at quick moves in silver, whether that's downwards or upwards. And if it's downwards, quickly add to a position or initiate a position in a stock that we find interesting. Or if things have run up quickly, to start taking profits and to, as I say, play with that volatility, take advantage of it and have it work for you.
Peter Krauth emphasizes the importance of investing in silver. He mentions that people should not avoid silver just because it is volatile. He explains how silver is undervalued and cheap, making it an excellent investment opportunity.
People should not feel that, although silver is volatile, because of that it's something that they shouldn't participate in or that they should dismiss. If you look at it from multiple aspects, I look at the different ways that silver is undervalued, and that is using the gold-silver ratio, using the inflation-adjusted price. If you look at the non-inflation adjusted silver price, silver is still 50%, more than 50% below its all-time high. So on that basis, it's cheap.
Peter Krauth compares silver with other metals, such as gold and platinum group metals. He also points out that while silver is below its 1980 high, other major metals have surpassed it. He argues that silver is an incredible value compared to other metals and an excellent investment opportunity.
If you adjust that all-time high for inflation, and that's just using, let's say, conservative government inflation numbers, the silver price in 1980 would be, in today's dollars, about $175. So we are about 85% below that inflation-adjusted all-time high. Silver is very cheap. If you look at it against housing prices, if you look at it versus the S&P, if you look at it versus the Dow, if you look at it versus other metals, if you compare silver with all the other major base metals, precious metals, and platinum group metals, silver is the only one that is still today below its 1980 high. Every single one of these other major metals is at least, I'm going to say 30 to 40%, and most of them are 100%. Some of them are 500-600% above those 1980 highs. So silver being at less than half, to me, unarguably an incredible deal, an incredible value. And the same goes for the silver stocks that obviously provide leverage on the price of silver.
Peter Krauth discusses the potential for growth in silver investment. He mentions that silver stocks provide leverage on the price of silver and that we are likely to experience the greatest silver bull market of our generation. He argues that we are in an environment similar to the 1970s, but with even higher inflation, making silver an excellent investment opportunity.
We are very likely going to experience the greatest silver bull market of our generation. We are in an environment that is similar to the 70s, but an order of magnitude higher. The inflation, I don't believe we're going to be able to get under control the way we were able to in the 1970s. And silver just absolutely outperformed any asset in that decade. Today, debt and deficits are an order of magnitude higher than they were back then. We're likely at the end of a 40-year bull market in both stocks and bonds, and huge debts that are continuing to grow. I think people really need to look for alternatives to stocks and bonds. It's very likely we're at the end of a 4-decade bull run in both of those assets. And so if you look for alternatives and you want some value, silver absolutely is the place to be.